Welcome, everybody, to Whistle Talks episode number 9, where I am speaking to David Yahid all about partner networks as a GTM strategy. Welcome, David. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Hi, Claire. Thanks for having
Before we
me.
No problem. Before we dive in, if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Sure. So my name is David Yahid, Israeli American. Kind of grew up halfway here, halfway there in the States. Started my university in the States. Started my career there doing mostly marketing on the corporate side. This is as technology emerged and before PPC existed and Facebook was just opening up to the public. Dating myself a little bit. And so back, I'd start off doing mostly corporate marketing in bigger companies. And that's where I kind of learned a little bit about the partnership network and the benefits of working through partnerships. And then about 10 years ago, I moved to Israel and I started working more on the startup side, helping Israeli tech connect to the US markets.
Amazing, amazing. Well, that leads me into my first question. Your experience with partner networks. I don't know if anybody knows, I am the partnership manager of Whistle. So I am super excited to have this chat with you all about partner networks and hopefully learn a little bit of little tips and tricks from you, and just have a great conversation.
Yeah, likewise. Always interesting always fun to talk about an interesting topic, especially with someone who kind of knows a little bit more, into the weeds of it and not just on a high level.
Sure.
So I started off my career, like I said, in the corporate US world. I think the first time I really touched building up a partner network was when I was working at Porsche Audi. I was working down on the dealer level, so we were a pilot dealership. Porsche would come to us with marketing campaigns that they want to go national with. Because of the geography where we were located, we had a lot of diversity. So I would run the campaigns, and based on feedback, decide if we're going national then or not. Being on the ground on the dealer level, it also gave me a chance to do a lot of initiating a lot of campaigns of my own and trying new things. And so one of the things I realized is that Porsche owners are very hard to target just targeting them. There's no real classification. And so we were so what I just started doing is actually building up a network, and this is again pre-digital means. We had a Facebook community, but that was about it. Building up a network of partners where we could kind of who are selling to the same audience, and we're selling other things that were complementary, but not necessarily the same product, or specifically not the same product. And this way, we had a whole network of referrals between each other. So, for example, we partnered with there was a big hospital down the block. We partnered with the doctor association there. Doctors, obviously high income, very potential Porsche customers. And we were sponsors of every fundraising event, every gala, every doctor's event the hospital hosted. We came in as sponsors. And likewise, we invited them to co-sponsor whenever we did an event launch or something like that. But now the doctor association knows that they get preferred treatment if they come to our dealership down the block. And of course, there was a whole, we'll come to the hospital, drop off a loaner, and pick up your car from the hospital to service it and stuff like that. Another partner we built a relationship with was like a very high-end watch store. Again, these are people that Rolex was at the very bottom of their bucket of offerings. And so we kind of we knew that somebody that's spending $100,000 on a watch is probably going to be a potential Porsche customer also. And so we also built a relationship with them, hosting events, co-promoting. They'd bring their customers to us, we'd take it to them, and that's how we kind of built a partner network. There was a little bit of a commission, a per deal factor to it, but it was mostly relationship and network building and trying to give value to the customers through this whole network of partnerships. We actually even had someone come in at some point and take the watch off his wrist and put it on the table and take a Porsche and drive home. And that was kind of a three-way deal that we had.
So did you get to keep the watch?
Well, they came in, they presented the watch. We told them we need a few minutes. We called our partners down at the watch store to come in and assess the watch, and it was kind of like They gave them the watch, they gave us the value for it, and then we gave him the keys to the Porsche. So it's like a three-way trade on the spot.
Wow, that is so cool. I had no idea that watches, were the same price as a Porsche.
Some of them do. Some of them get that price.
Amazing. Well, you definitely started off, I would say that's pretty fun, like
Yeah.
dealing with such high-end products. To me, sounds like a lot of fun. So you were kind of, creating the path before partnerships really became, I feel like in the last year or even 2 years, partnerships have really come more into focus than ever before. For anybody watching that isn't quite sure of what a partner network is, could you just go into a little bit about exactly what a partner network means?
Yeah, so I think I'll start off with the value. The value of a partner network is the network. And then the idea is, as a business, you're offering customers a certain product or service, and so you could try to market to each one of them individually, especially if you're whether you're B2B or B2C. You could try to go after multiple partners individually. But a lot of times it's a lot more efficient for you to go and find a partner who is actually already selling to 100 customers that could potentially be your customers, and have that one person who's already a trusted source and friend of those 100 people or those 100 businesses say, you know what, I have a really good offering for you. You should really try this product. It'll really help you guys in your business, and have them send it over. You'll save, first of all, a lot of time on mapping out and figuring out who these individuals are and trying to get to them, one by one. You'll save yourself a lot of cold emails and cold outreach trying to get to the right person at the company. And you're getting, it's basically having like a systemizing the warm referral process of having a friend refer a friend. Now, a partner network is usually when you go beyond that and not just have one-way referrals, but you actually have a partnership between you and the partner. So, for example, they send you business, you send them business, but you also support them where needed. So it's whether it's providing them with the marketing material, helping them build out the offering, help them position it, help them give them resources that they might not have. Especially if it's something where they specialize in one thing and if you're using all kinds of tools and techniques that they're not using, you could actually introduce them to it and actually give them access to some of those tools to go and expand that. Now, the idea with a partner network is really finding out complementary businesses that'll help you push it. So, for example, sometimes if you go to your accountant and he's trying to sell you a gym membership, you're like, why would I buy from you, or why would I trust you on that? You're not an authority on gym or fitness or anything like that. Why would I take your word for a gym membership? But then if you build a partner network correctly and you find HubSpot, for example. I know Whistle is a HubSpot partner. I'm also a HubSpot partner. They sell a tool that helps you. I mean, now they've gotten sales also, but initially they started up. They were a marketing automation tool. So they figured who better to sell a marketing automation tool than the marketing agencies that are already doing work for the customer. And now, as a marketing agency, I'm coming in and saying, telling my customer, if you buy this tool, I could do a better job for you. And it's not like I'm trying to offload some, hard to use, cumbersome tool. I want to use this to do my job better for you. And that's one of the ways HubSpot grew so quickly and so fast, by having a very wide partner network of very targeted, partners, which are marketing agencies. So you have an authority on the space. You have someone that is actually doing marketing all day long that wants to use this tool, telling the customer you should use it. So that's how kind of they grew so fast, and that's a perfect example of where to build a partner network. Now, unlike some other programs, I've signed up to a number of partner programs. HubSpot was one of them, and the relationship there grew because there was that two-way communication and that support and handholding, and they actively reach out to you to touch bases and see how they could help and how they could support you and things like that. There were some other partnerships where they're like, yes, coming out, that they'll go through the process of signing you up. But then once you sign up as a partner, you never hear from them again unless you actively go and reach out to them. And those fizzled away and died very quickly because they're not top of mind, because there's no, they're not making no effort to connect with you or help you grow your business. And then it becomes more like a burden for you to try to sell more. It's an upsell that you have to try to deal with, and it's not worth your time.
Absolutely. I think, the key to a partner network and what I'm realizing and trying to figure out, trying to offer more value to my partners, it really has to be a win-win situation, or else, what's the
Yeah.
point? Why would the partner on the other side, think of you even when the opportunity arises if you're not actively supporting them as well? You have touched on this a little bit already, but can you tell me why a partner network is so powerful?
So I think for a few reasons. First of all, because like I said, it's a warm referral network. Effectively, it's someone who already has customers and already selling them a product or service, and so they're saying this is another product or service that you should definitely be using or looking into. And then the other thing is that it also makes it a lot easier for you to focus your own marketing, and ICP that you're building out. Because, for example, if you're trying to sell any service, you're trying to sell a CRM system. I could either reach out to travel companies and brand myself as a travel, perfect for travel companies and perfect for accounting offices and perfect for a small, like perfect for all these different, businesses and types of businesses. And then my marketing gets watered down with very wide, oh, we're perfect for this and for this, and people kind of get lost and confused, and you don't. You're kind of like a jack of all trades and not really the best of breed that you're trying to portray. However, if you're focusing your growth on a partner network, you're actually focusing on one type of network of partner, or maybe two, which is in this case marketing agencies. And then you're having those marketing agencies, each one is already branded as the right marketing agency for a travel agency, and they could have those micro conversations and those branded a lot more smoothly for those different companies without tainting your brand as like we're kind of all over the place. So, for example, Whistle. I've been working with David for a long time. We're good friends since before Whistle was founded, even. You guys offer outsourced sales development services, and you're ideally targeting technology companies, but those are technology companies across the board. You have SaaS, and you have cyber, and you have consumer SaaSes, and you have all kinds of different things. So instead of trying to brand yourself and reach out to all those different end customers, which I mean, you spend a little bit of time doing that because it's also important for you to touch bases with the end customer and kind of get a feel for it. By building out a partner network of other people that are serving your customers, whether it's freelance content writers, whether it's and again, I'm assuming that your ICP is really either they had a team that failed to deliver, or they haven't built a team yet, and so that's why they're coming to you to fill that gap. So they're outsourcing to a marketing agency, they're outsourcing to a content writer, they're outsourcing to social media managers, they're outsourcing to various partners that are giving them outsourced services. And so for you, that's a perfect partner network to build, because then you have this trusted social media manager that's working with a company. They're happy with this person's work, or trusted, small marketing freelancer marketer is working with a company. They're happy with their work. Now, me as a freelance marketer, I am measured to an extent on the number of business coming in. Right? It's not direct. I'm not closing deals, but if they don't see more deals closed, then they're going to cut me as a marketer also. So I have a vested interest in getting more deals closed. So for me, it makes perfect sense to go and recommend Whistle to come in. It's a win-win for both of us. You get a new client. I get more deals closed. I look good. You look good. Everyone looks good. Everyone's making money. Everyone's growing. Everyone's happy. So it's like a perfect example of like where it's a complementary win-win situation to have a partner network, and that really comes down to mapping out and choosing who the right partners are, so that you could grow and kind of get the business referred to you.
Absolutely. Thanks, David, for that. So, for anyone out there who wants to start their own partner network, obviously you have shown us a lot of value in these partner networks. How do you think you would start to build a win-win partner network?
So I think that building a partner network, like I said, very much relies on figuring out what the win-win situation is. If you map out a small portion of who your perfect customer is, working backwards to see who else is selling to them in your space, but not competitively. So complementary services or products. And then from there, you take a step back and say, how do you get to those partners and build a win-win situation for you and those partners, so it's mutually beneficial to refer them in. Um, Partner networks, sometimes they do involve, I'll sell your product, you sell mine. Sometimes it's a one way, you sell my product, but you get a commission or sale off of it. So I think the first thing is to kind of map out who would be the right partners for you to work with or to help push your product. And then the other one is how to build that win-win situation so everyone gets something out of it. And then I think that the other components are really to build a network. Part of the idea with a partner network is that it's not just Whistle and David, or Whistle and Yahid Consulting, me pushing my Whistle to my customers and recommending it. But if I as a partner for you probably have, like, the other partners that you have in your network are probably somewhere along the same level as me in terms of, we're reaching out to the same customers, we're the same size more or less, we have the same challenges. And so by building, the keyword here being network, by building a partner network and opening up a community, I get value in the fact that I keep coming back once a month to the round table discussion. I could have a conversation with the other partners in the network, whether it's challenges we're having, whether it's customer acquisition, and there's sometimes at some point there's some natural handover of customers also. Like if I'm fully booked and I get a perfect customer, I might call up another partner in your network and say, hey, I have this this customer, I can I don't have time for them, I don't have capacity, I specialize in cyber, and this is a travel customer more suited for you, whatever it is. And then there's like the business going back and forth between the networks, all the partners also. It's also fallback. If I want to take a 1 week vacation for a week, I might be able to call up another partner and say, "Can you cover for me for a week, and then I'll cover for you when I get back, or something like that." There's a lot of benefits of a network and not being alone when you're doing this. And so I think the important thing with the partner network is to build that network, that sense of community, that sense of network of we're all in this together, we're all going to help each other and kind of move forward. And the other thing is providing support, especially if sometimes you have a big corporation. You have the two-way thing. You have HubSpot, which is a very big corporation, working with marketing agencies who are much smaller, much less resources. They don't have the capacity to build every resource and to answer every question and to deep dive into everything. But when HubSpot provides complete ready-to-use guides for me to then go and present or talk about or answer questions and do that, they're saving me a lot of time, and they're helping me look good, so I get more customers, so they get more customers. And so it's kind of that resource center where you're helping them build up their own network and grow. And so it really is I think it all comes back down to the community part. Everyone, it's mutual helping, mutual growth for everyone, and back to like the win-win situation.
Totally agree with you. I mean, I think from the day that I started the Whistle Partnership Program, the vision has always been an ecosystem, and you've said exactly that, where our partners are not only supporting Whistle, and Whistle's not only supporting them individually, that all of the partners are supporting each other. And I think that's the way to move forward. Community, ecosystems. I mean, that age-old saying of it's not what you know, it's who you know. I think that's definitely I think, as I said before, there's just more focus on it the last few years, I feel. So totally agree with you there, David. You have already, we know that building a community and an ecosystem is one way to ensure that your partner network is successful. Is there anything else that we've missed, that would help make a partnership network successful?
Yeah. So one thing I'd love to, I haven't touched on yet, but I realized that I missed, is that if you're trying to build a partner network, it's very important to have someone own that network, because it's not something that will organically happen and grow, it's something that every community I've seen so far, the failed ones and the successful ones, but primarily the successful ones, have a community manager, somebody that's kind of building it and pushing it and making it grow. And at some point it might become something big that is self-sustainable because other people step up and decide to kind of help. But you have to have someone that's driving the community. So like you at Whistle, without you full-time building this, it wouldn't happen because nobody has time. Everyone's busy. Nobody has time to remember to go and call Whistle and to call the other partners. Nobody has time to remember that. But when you're dedicated to doing that and to helping it grow, you're a resource that I know anything I need from Whistle, I could call you up and you'll help figure it out, or connect me to another partner, or send me updates and information, and vice versa. Then it helps drive the community growth. I mean, you've been doing a really good job with initiating events, whether it's the roundtables or starting calls, so you have to have that someone, at least one person. Usually, it's as you grow, it's a team dedicated to growing that partner network, because otherwise, I think that's critical for the growth.
100%. I've also been a part of partner networks before where you join up, the first meeting or the first couple meetings, you're totally in, talking to this person one-on-one, starting to create that relationship. But when there's no follow-up and there's no, continual touching base, or maybe even a communication channel where you're able to, just have a conversation and continue to build that relationship, it doesn't work. People are busy. We're partnering with other companies that are offering our clients complimentary services. Of course, you're busy. You're not going to be, thinking about who you've partnered with and who's a good fit for your clients unless you've developed that relationship with us, unless I'm sending you that email every month, or David's giving you a call and checking in to see how you're doing. So it's definitely, I believe, all about the relationship, all about just fostering the community. And you're right, having somebody that's actually focused on it full time, I think is kind of the make or break when it comes to building a successful partner network.
Right. And it's not just the partners, by the way. It's also kind of David and Micha are also kind of super busy, so they don't, even if they kind of did try to run this partner network themselves, they don't have the capacity to really be listening to the partner's voice and take that back in. So even if they did have an offering and they were sending they decided that every month they're sitting down sending out a newsletter or something, they don't have the capacity to go and listen and implement these suggestions and changes from the partners themselves. And so that's also another reason it's good to have a dedicated person like you that builds the relationship with the partners, and also it's a two-way relationship.
Great. I think, I feel kind of like a champion for all of my partners. I'm going to come in and if they've brought an idea, to me that they think is going to work for Whistle or is going to help the partner network, I'm the middleman between, them and our CEO, David. And yeah, the first word that kind of popped into my mind when you're saying that was, I'm your champion. I kind of champion both sides, and I think that's important. I'm not only in it for Whistle, I'm also dedicated to the partner, and I really want the partner to succeed and get value out of the network too. I think that's super important to ensure that whoever's in the role, feels that way and is actually passionate about the partners as well as the company, of course.
Yeah, I agree 100%. It's important to have the two-way communications.
Awesome. Well, David, that's it for us on the partner network side of things. Unless you had any last things to say to our audience.
I think I think I would just say, like, if you're not doing partner network yet, it's definitely worth looking into it. We did talk about some things that'll make or break it, but there's also a possibility to test the waters with find one partner that you could work with and see if that works. Find one complementary service that does something similar that and try to refer some business back and forth, and see if that works. Because a lot of times that's the way to start. You find one partner, you see that it helps you, you see that you're growing your business, you find a second and a third, and then you start to formalize the partner network as opposed to just random partnerships that you have.
Absolutely. That's great advice. I think, if you start off thinking of that huge ecosystem, it might seem a little bit too much to handle. So
Yeah.
I agree with you. One partner at a time, and slowly that network will start. And then hopefully, naturally, that ecosystem and that community will start to form with all of the other initiatives that you will hopefully be implementing as, you get more partners on board. And yeah, totally agree with you, David. Once again, thank you so much for joining us on Whistle Talks. I look forward to seeing you again and hopefully hosting you again. Yeah, thank you so much.
Likewise, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.